Ever find yourself wondering, like, why is there something instead of nothing? You
Well,
know?
yeah.
Like, that's something I think about sometimes.
I
And
mean, too.
it turns out that question, like that really kind of fundamental question, might hinge on something called CP violation,
Yeah.
which you sent our way in this fascinating physics paper, Prospects for Direct CP Tests of HQQ Interactions.
Right.
Honestly, before this deep dive, I thought CP violation was something that happened at like a cosmic DMV or something.
Well, it's definitely about as exciting as waiting in line.
Okay.
But instead of dealing with forms, we're talking about the fundamental laws that govern the universe.
See, that's what I love about these deep dives, always learning something new.
Right.
So for those of us who haven't quite wrapped our heads around theoretical physics, what is CP violation in like simple terms?
So imagine looking in a mirror,
Okay.
but instead of seeing your reflection, you see your slightly off twin.
Uh-huh.
Everything's almost identical, but there's a subtle difference.
Okay.
CP violation is like that in the particle world.
Okay.
It means some particles and their mirror images don't behave exactly the same way.
Okay, so particles have mirror images. Do they wave at each other?
Not quite. But the idea is that for every particle, there's an antiparticle.
Okay.
Think of it like its opposite.
Uh-huh.
And CP violation suggests that these particle-antiparticle pairs don't always act as mirrored images of each other.
Okay. I'm kind of getting it.
Okay.
But why should we care if some subatomic particles have a bit of an identity crisis?
Because this identity crisis could explain why we exist at all.
Oh.
You see, one of the biggest mysteries in physics is why there's so much more matter than antimatter in the universe.
Wait, why is that a mystery?
Well, according to our current understanding of the Big Bang,
Mm-hmm.
matter and antimatter should have been created in equal amounts.
Okay.
But when matter and antimatter meet, they annihilate each other.
So, poof, gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if there were truly equal amounts of matter and antimatter at the beginning,
Yeah.
there wouldn't be any left over to form stars, planets, or us.
Okay, that would be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Big problem.
So how does CP violation fit into all of this?
Well, CP violation, this slight asymmetry between particles and antiparticles, might be the reason why there was a tiny bit more matter than antimatter after the Big Bang.
Okay.
That little bit extra is what allowed everything we see around us to exist.
Wow. Okay, that's definitely more consequential than renewing your driver's license.
Yeah.
But you mentioned a Higgs boson. This
Yeah.
is where it all gets even more mind-boggling, right?
You're telling me the Higgs boson, as you may know, is a fundamental particle that gives other particles their mass.
Okay.
This research paper you shared dives into how scientists are looking for CP violation in the way the Higgs boson decays into other particles.
So the Higgs is kind of like a celebrity constantly being followed by paparazzi, and these scientists are hoping to catch it misbehaving.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
The misbehaving in this case would be a specific pattern of decay that doesn't quite match up with its mirror image.
Okay, so instead of spotting a wardrobe malfunction, they're looking for a particle physics malfunction.
Like that.
So how do we actually see this CP violation in action? Do we just need a really good microscope?
If only it were that simple.
Okay.
This research focuses on a specific type of particle decay, where the Higgs boson decays into heavier particles called quarks.
Okay.
Imagine trying to understand the inner workings of a watch by looking at the tiny gears inside.
Right.
It requires incredibly precise tools and techniques.
And I'm guessing our usual tool set isn't going to cut it here.
Yeah,
The paper mentioned something about colliders.
exactly. To study these decays, scientists use massive machines called particle colliders, which smash beams of particles together at incredibly high speeds. These collisions produce a shower of other particles, including, if we're lucky, Higgs bosons.
So it's like smashing two watches together and hoping a few intact gears fly out so we can analyze them.
That's a pretty good way to put it. By analyzing the debris from these collisions, scientists can look for patterns in how the Higgs bosons decayed. And those patterns could reveal if any CP violation is going on.
Okay, got it. So like we build this thing that smashes stuff together and we look at the patterns and hope we see what we're looking for.
Yeah, but here's the catch. These decays are incredibly rare. We're talking about finding a needle in a subatomic haystack.
Oh, no.
To have any hope of observing CP violation in Higgs decays, we need to produce a lot of Higgs bosons.
So we need a bigger smasher, a faster watch collision?
The paper talks about the limitations of our current colliders and the potential of future, even more powerful machines.
Well, okay.
They specifically mentioned something called a muon collider. It sounds straight out of Star Trek.
A muon collider? What makes them so special?
So muons are fundamental particles, kind of like heavier, less stable, cousins of electrons.
Okay.
A muon collider would use beams of these muons instead of the protons used in current colliders.
Okay, so why muons? What's the advantage there?
Muons are much heavier than protons, which means they can be accelerated to much higher energies, resulting in even more powerful collisions and hopefully more Higgs bosons to study.
Oh.
Think of it like the difference between a gentle tap and a full-on sledgehammer.
Okay, I'm getting a headache just imagining the scale of these things, but let's say hypothetically that we manage to build this muon collider, smash some particles together, and find evidence of CP violation in Higgs boson decays. What's the big takeaway? Why should we care?
Remember that mystery we talked about earlier? Why there's more matter than antimatter?
Right? Yeah.
Well, observing CP violation in these decays would be a major piece of the puzzle. It would give us a much deeper understanding of the fundamental laws that govern the universe, and might even offer clues about what happened in the moments after the Big Bang.
So it's not just about understanding some obscure particle interaction, it's about understanding the origins of the universe itself.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this research so exciting.
Right.
Even if we don't find what we're looking for, the search itself pushes the boundaries of our knowledge and opens up new avenues for exploration.
Yeah, I like that. This is blowing my mind. We've gone from like wondering why there's something instead of nothing to smashing particles together at mind-boggling speeds.
And we haven't even gotten to the coolest part yet.
There's more. Don't hold back.
Remember how we talked about needing to find a needle in a haystack to spot CP violation in these Higgs decays?
Right.
Well, the paper also dives into how scientists plan to actually analyze the massive amounts of data generated by these future colliders.
Okay, so we've built the world's most powerful microscope.
Right.
What then? How do we make sense of what we're seeing?
That's where things get really interesting. The paper talks about using machine learning and sophisticated algorithms to identify the specific decay patterns that would signal CP violation. It's like training a computer to be a particle physicist.
Wait, so we're teaching computers to understand the fundamental laws of the universe?
In a way, yes. These algorithms can sift through mountains of data much faster and more efficiently than humans ever could, looking for those rare events that might confirm our theories.
That's incredible. So not only are we building these mind-boggling machines, but we're also developing the tools to interpret the secrets they reveal.
Exactly. It's a beautiful example of how scientific progress happens on multiple fronts simultaneously.
You know, diving into this paper with you has really highlighted the collaborative nature of science. It's not just one lone genius in a lab anymore. It takes teams of people from all over the world working together to push the boundaries of what we know.
I couldn't agree more. This research is a testament to human curiosity and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. And who knows what other mysteries will unravel along the way.
That's the beauty of it all, isn't it? Every answer leads to more questions, and every discovery opens up new avenues for exploration. What started as a simple question, why is there something rather than nothing, has taken us on a wild ride through particle physics, cutting-edge technology, and the very essence of existence.
And to think this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to learn about the universe and our place in it.
Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive. We've explored CP violation, the Higgs boson, the quest for new physics, and the mind-blowing potential of future colliders.
And hopefully we've sparked some curiosity and a sense of wonder in our listeners.
That's what we strive for. So until next time, keep those brains engaged and those questions coming. You never know what mysteries will unravel together on the next deep dive.